Hey there, how's it going? What's up, everybody? Irish Orangutan is back to pass along what you need to know to get better at Madden and grow your MUT team. Enjoy the show. Today, I am happy to be able to bring you another top 10. In the past, we have looked at the top run defenders and people who can help you in the passing game as well. Last week, we discussed the best unicorn budgets in MUT and the players that you should go out and get to help bolster your team. Now we have the opportunity to look at the phenoms in the trenches. We'll be looking at the offensive linemen that really stand out. A lot of these players are just players that you need to have if you're top end teams, or go out and get pieces of them if you don't quite have that top end team. So I'm excited to get things kicked off with number 10. Number 10, we have Zach Brown. He is a very great right guard. It pains me to say his pass blocking stats just put him ahead of Sheriff. I would still have Sheriff if you want to do those lead blocks out to the right side, but Zach Brown is tremendous at running behind and also has the pass blocking stats that you really want to have at that position. At number 9, we have Alex Mack. He is a tremendous run blocker for the center position. He is also great at awareness. He is someone that you would want on your Falcons or Browns team. He is really good at what he does. He leaves a little bit wanting in the passing game, which is why he is not higher on the list. He's probably not a player that you want to invest in, as he's probably a little bit too pricey for this. A couple other players, or at least one that I'll be talking on this list, and a couple other players out there probably would be a little bit better for you. At number 8, we have Bruce Matthews. He is great to use in a pinch at any of your offensive line positions that you kind of need. As you probably have noticed, if you put him together, all of his pieces actually that go into his legend are from different positions, so it's kind of unique to see what he played at different points in his career. He is great at the center position and the number one player that you should probably go out and get if you are not biased to a particular team. He has 94 run block. The power and finesse for run block don't matter nearly as much, so that is something to consider. His his pass block power and pass block finesse are also better than the top level centers at his position. So really consider getting him when you are going for your top level center. As I talked about earlier, his power up or other pieces are also great fits for your team. At number 7, we have David Bakhtiari. As you can see, he is a great pass blocker with the 96 pass block power and finesse. He Before powering him up or adding any chemistries to him, be mindful of that. The one thing that he kind of lacks is his run blocking. He does have the 90 run blocking straight up, and his power and finesse are the things that are a little bit lower. So if you add some zone run to him, that kind of makes up for it. The thing that keeps him a little bit higher on the list is his speed. That is something that is a little bit better than most tackles, especially if you are not considering Lane Johnson. He is a player that you really want to go out and get if you are passing the ball extensively. If you do that more than 50% of the time, this is probably the player that you want. If you're going to run the ball most of the time, consider one of the players I'm going to be talking about here in a little bit. At number 6, we have Dwayne Brown, another left tackle that is tremendous at what he does. I actually went out and bought him and then got David Bakhtiari Nat. So I sold off Brown and kept Bakhtiari for a while. I liked Brown. He was a road grader at that position and wasn't wanting too much in speed. He is a little bit slower than Bakhtiari, but better than most. He is someone that is also pretty solid against the pass, especially finesse moves, and decent at the pass block power. If you are able to chem up the pass block power, he really turns into one of the top level left tackles in the game. At number 5, we have Mitchell Schwartz. He is a tremendous blend of stats. As you can see, his pass block power is a thing that really stands out for him. He is one of the best tackles in the game. If he was at left tackle, he would also be elite at that position. But being that there's only a couple of really good right tackles, he makes it a little bit higher on the list. He is a little bit slower than what you would want at 60 speed, but he kind of makes up for it in his road grading stats with his 92 run blocking. At number 4, we have Marshall Yanda. He's another player with a great mixture of stats that scare every defensive lineman. His 96 run blocking makes him absolutely dangerous in zone running up the middle. He is a little bit weak at lead blocking, so if you're trying to run those pitches out to the side, you might want to go out to the left instead of going out behind him. He is great at what he does and is the best right guard in the game. He is right up there with some of the best interior linemen. He's probably number 2 in the interior linemen in the entire game. At number 3, we have the physically intimidating Jonathan Ogden at 6'9". He is an absolute monster in the running game with his 95 run block without chemistries or powering him up. His pass blocking stats are at 96 and 94 for power and finesse. His strength is at 95. He does have a couple of negatives. Being 6'9", if you have Michael Vick, it may be hard to throw to the left side consistently and not hit him in the back of the head, especially if you have Gunslinger. And his speed is only at 57. So if you're trying to run things quickly out to the left or run screens, it's going to be a little bit of a detriment. If you just need a left tackle to run behind and drop back and throw with a 6'5" quarterback, he is perfect. If that's your scheme, he may be up 1 or 2 spots on this list. If you're running more of an average scheme and you're trying to do a few more things outside of the box, he probably fits a little bit further down the list with his slow speed, to be honest. It really fits your scheme, but just stat wise, straight down, that's the best in the game. But his other attributes and his speed just set him down a little bit lower. So, one of the main things that I have found while starting to create a few things for YouTube and on Twitch is that I'm getting a little bit more in depth with some of these things and understanding some of the market and some of the players a little bit better. It also leads me to research a couple things a little bit more. I didn't know Quentin Nelson was this good. At my number 2 spot, he is absolutely phenomenal. And if you want to run behind your guard, he is the player that you really need to have. He's probably not going to be able to get chemmed up to 99 overall, which is what I would prefer, but I'll be able to get to that 98, and I won't have to worry about my left guard the rest of the year. So as soon as I think that it's halfway viable and inexpensive enough to go out and get him, he's going to be the player that I go out and get at my left guard position. Him and Sheriff, pulling behind both of those guys, will be in unison and just be absolutely gorgeous being able to pull and run behind this man. His pass blocking aren't quite elite, but they're right there. And if you don't want to put lead the way and would prefer to put secure pass blocker, that might be what you want to do as well. So I started this list with a cowboy and I am finishing it with an eagle. I don't know what's wrong with me really, but the number 1 spot goes to Lane Johnson. He is tremendous in the pass blocking game. His run blocking stats are also to the point of being elite. With 92, you would probably want that to be a little bit higher, but if you put any sort of passing chemistries on him, he will be able to shut down everyone trying to come off that side. If you boost him up and put zone run on him, you'll be able to get that to 93 plus 3, 96. So that is absolutely phenomenal as well. And the thing that really sets him apart is his speed. He has a speed of a slow tight end, and that just isn't normal for a lineman. I did not want an Eagle on my team the entire year, but he's going to be in that position because he's just great at what he does, and he is just so fast. He can get out and pull. He just gets to places that you never thought that you would. I had this Willie Anderson for a while. He's a lot like that Ogden, but he just does not have the speed, and now he's a little bit dated. So I would just consider getting Lane Johnson for every team. If you can't get the 95, try to go out and get his team diamond. If you can't get that, use his power up. He'll be able to pass block for you well enough to be able to be dominant for the rest of the year. Make sure to add these players to your team if they fit your scheme. I've talked through a couple of different schemes and how these players would fit into them best. Make sure you go out and get the players that would fit best for you. If you can't get the top-notch player, make sure you go up and get their power up to make sure you are able to get the best player that you can for your team. Make sure to check out my other top 10s and stop back for more to come. There will always be those past videos listed in the description. I wish you all the best, and go out and get some of those linemen that will be able to boost up your team. Thanks for checking into the Irish Orangutan channel. Keep coming back to keep getting better at Madden and growing your MUT team. There will be at least 5 videos up a week, so make sure to subscribe and also hit the bell right next to it to make sure you see them all. Come by Twitch to engage or hit me up on Twitter at Irish Orangutan. Take care, everybody.